know some of you St. Augustine locals may have been driving by the zoo the last couple months wondering what in the world is going on the north end of the property. We have this beautiful wading bird rookery here. I hope many of you are familiar with it, where we have lots of nesting spoonbills, wood storks, great egrets, and numerous other smaller wading bird species. But they've kind of taken over, and we're not really opposed to that, but it would be nice if they moved to locations that were a little bit more convenient for maintenance of their output. And so up at the north end of the property, we have constructed a new crocodilian holding area. Wait, how is that connected? Crocodilians really attract wading birds. They want to make their nests over things that eat predators. The main predators of chicks in a wading bird's nest are going to be things that climb up in trees: raccoons, snakes, feral cats, possum. So the wading birds build their nests in rookeries, which typically are in trees over a water source that has large reptilian predators. Here in Florida, that's going to be alligators. Well, we happen to have more than just alligators here at the St. Augustine Alligator Farm. So we have constructed a nearly 10,000 square foot habitat for mixed species of crocodilians, pretty large ones. But there's lots of water and lots of beautiful trees. There's an oak canopy, magnolias. So that the wading birds are going to love those trees. We've also added in a bunch of giant bald cypress. So hopefully those will establish well. Some species like wood storks really prefer that. So we planted 5, almost Disney size, I like to say, trees with the hope that that will attract some of these birds away from Snack Bar and Central Lagoon and to an area that's a little easier for us to maintain. But right now we want it to be a nice quiet area for the wading birds to come across and go, this is where I want to nest, and start to establish their rookery there. Annually, we do maintenance work in our native swamp and rookery habitat. There is a lot going on in there. A lot of alligators nesting and kind of moving around the habitat. There's a lot of guest activity going on, and there's of course our huge wading bird colony. And that puts a lot of wear and tear on the space. So annually there is some maintenance that needs to be done, and every few years there's more significant maintenance. Things that are done regularly: improving of water quality, maybe rebuilding of bank. With the alligators sliding in and out, it does produce nice smooth beaches, but over time that's not really as great for the tree roots, and we need to make sure they have soil to support those. Removal of invasive plant species and planting of native species. Special little micro habitat that we have going on here, but we kind of always go by the philosophy, build it and they will come, and that's what we do for the wading birds. Also support different conservation initiatives. On a weekly basis, counts are done. How many adults are out there, how many nests, and how many chicks. Early on in the season, it's not that complicated of a matter, but as time progresses, it's a little bit overwhelming. So we have a wonderful rookery crew that comes once a week, and they're doing all of those nest counts. We share that information with United States Fish and Wildlife Service, Florida Fish and Wildlife, and with Audubon of Florida. Extremely valuable data. So some of these species we have out here nesting in the rookery are the threatened species of wood stork. We also have Florida protected species such as the roseate spoonbill, and there's quite a bunch of activity going on above us right now with nesting and fighting pairs. Little blue herons and tricolored herons are also species of concern here in Florida. If you'd like to know anything else about the rookery, there's tons of information that's on our rookery blog. You can find that link on our website, alligatorfarm.com. There is a rookery hotline if you just call the zoo and hit extension 9, and that is updated to the status of what's going on in our rookery as the status changes, so typically every couple of weeks throughout the nesting season. And lastly, come on out and see it for yourself. We'll see you on the boardwalk.